start. Five, four, three, two, 1, 0. Let's start.
Good evening. Good evening. Good evening and welcome to the Nighttime Heat, a 2 hour long intellectual discourse. My name is David Tagwell. I'm sitting in for Saba Josh, our lead host, Saba Josh. And you're welcome. And please share the show with your family members and friends to follow. We are on Prime FM 105.5 and also on Facebook. We also on YouTube. So welcome. We have a lot to talk about, and as our lead host has always said, this show it doesn't bore you. This show doesn't bore you. It can be real charged. Our panelists are up to the task and on top of the unfolding developments in our country. So I look forward to seeing our panelists come in. Desmond, we already saw it in, and I look forward to seeing Edwin family who were also here yesterday. Desmond wasn't here. I understand he was out of the town. He was out of Monrovia, and so he didn't come yesterday. Josh Kennedy, one of our main panelists, is under the weather. He's suffering from fever. And I look forward to seeing Moses on the show this evening. Moses Sandy is in the diaspora. Edwin family had just entered. And so shortly I'll be welcoming the panelists right here, and I hope that we look forward to Moses joining us on this Thursday evening's edition of the Nighttime Heat. Today is the 30th for July 2026. Tomorrow the month ends. The month of July ends tomorrow. And so welcome, gentlemen. Welcome, all our listeners and viewers. Welcome to this edition of the Nighttime Heat. My name is David Tagwell once again. someone engaged me in this morning and said, David, why were you repeatedly calling your name on the show? So I mean, I didn't have any answer for him. I said, man, but that's my name. I love it. So I had to call it repeatedly on the show. But however, gentlemen, welcome. Desmond, you were the first to arrive in studio to be part of the Nighttime Heat as panelists. Welcome, Desmond.
Thank you, David. Thank you, and let me commend you yesterday for filling in that responsibility, of Saba George. And I understand that Saba George will be joining us by next week. Has some pressing domestic issues. But it's great to be back on the show, and let me say good evening to all of our followers, our viewers. And it is because of them this show is being constituted. Without no audience, by the way, there should be no need to have radio, by the way. So it is obviously because of our citizens who are our viewers, our followers, who are our precious, listeners, or in other words, audience. It is because of them we will always sacrifice our time to come to contribute to the discourse of our country. So it's great to be back, and this is what I love best, and this is how I think I can contribute in my own minimum way in terms of nation building as a citizen. So I look forward.
I missed your presence yesterday, and I guess our followers, our listeners and viewers also missed your presence. Why weren't you here yesterday? You said you were on the highway. Where were you coming from?
I was coming from the airport. I got caught up into a very congested traffic.
Wow.
The guys that are constructing the overpass bridges along the Congo Town route, so there's always a traffic congestion
problem
at a route. But it's great to be back, Sabo. I call you someone because
I'm David.
you in a position of someone. So yeah, I mean,
So
it's
I'm-
great. It's great. Yeah.
I'm David. So we just celebrated our 179th independence,
Sure.
and I guess you had a very good time on the holiday.
Oh yes,
You'd like
certainly.
to tell us about how you spent it?
Well, I spent my holiday, providing coverage for the independence, celebration there in Buchanan. As journalists, this is what we do. We serve in the public trust, or the public interest. So we do not have these times for ourselves. It is for the Liberian people. So we were there. Yes, scores of Liberian journalists were there. Buchanan, making sure that we can provide coverage.
And Desmond, it's good that you were in Buchanan. You like to paint a picture, a brief picture of what actually happened in Buchanan. How was it? You like to paint a brief picture of the events in Buchanan on Independence Day?
The program was a memorable moment. It was very, experience worth, encountering. Another better description could be, it was so colorful. I must admit,
Colorful.
it was colorful.
What does that mean?
Well, that is to say, you have all of the different, guests coming, and you have schools of our government officials, as well as those traditional leaders of our country, especially Grand Bassa County.
Yeah.
They were all, nationally attired
Wow.
in our country cloth, and that shows our heritage, our national identity in our culture. Because as part of the team is to talk about our identity as a country. Let's try to reclaim our history as a people. So that is where I also want to commend the orator. He was very, very, magnanimous enough in terms of the specific details of Liberia's historicity. So the program was indeed a great one, and I think a lot of those who attended the program did not come with any sort of different experience, but a memorable one.
So how enthusiastic were the citizens of Grand Bassa, the fact that the Independence Day anniversary, the official celebration was held in their county? How enthusiastic were the citizens of Bassett? I know you must have interacted with.
For the obvious reason, they were
Yeah.
they were all happy, and they were all smiling. You could see the pretty smiles on their faces. That is to say, they embraced the government in their county. Mr. Sobo, David. That will be something a lot of counties will look forward to,
Yeah.
happening in that, or a program happening in that county. So to have those from Grand Bassa County, embracing the entire government, for not just a day, for scores of days, is something that they benefited a lot. So a lot of them were so happy, especially for the local economy of that county. All of the hotels were booked. The various bars, you have the various businesses boomed, as a matter of
Wow.
fact. So just within a short period of time, I am convinced that the local economy of Grand Bassa County, experienced what one could describe as, economic,
Significant growth.
growth in
Yeah.
terms of the social basic, transactions of those officials, those guests that were there, and with the various activities involving Grand Bassa County, so that of course it supported the budget, they supported the growth of Bassa economy. You could currently, if you go there, you will still see there are still sounds of beautification of
Okay.
the various streets in Grand.
Let's talk about the street lights. Let's talk about lights or electricity in Bassa. I watched a video and I noticed that all the streets were all illuminated. You like to say something? about that?
Yeah. I
You
mean,
say after so many years or decades, the Bassa has been in darkness, and just in recent time, the lights in the streets now.
so there should be no county in this kind of contemporary time that
Yeah.
should be affected in terms of lack of access to electricity.
Yeah.
So Grand Bassa was just privileged, not necessarily privileged, because the right to calling is the fundamental right. Every citizen should have access to power.
Yeah.
So Grand Bassa experiencing such, I think it is just the right time, and that was part of the government's own commitment to the county, that which they did, and we saw how jubilant the market women were.
Well,
We saw to what extent even the motorcyclists, they were all joyful, because the issue about light, issue about electricity, or David, it has a whole lot of positive impact on the lives of the citizens. One, it minimizes what we call crimes rate during night hours.
Yeah.
It provides, what we call access opportunity for even the students to study along the street light. So what Grand Bazaar is experiencing is just a testament of government's commitment to providing basic services to our people. So Grand Bazaar, yes, that is the time that you explore the moment, enjoy this facility, and that you utilize it in interest of themselves and for the country.
And finally, let's talk about guests. What can you say about those who show up? Guests, people who were invited by the government, and mainly people from the diaspora, international community. I understand there was a representative of American President Donald Trump there. You like to talk about that?
Yes, even the government even bestow an honor on Paula King. She's the spirit. I've been told. I think a religious advisor to the president of the United States.
Yeah,
she was there. She's attending the program. There was honor given to her. As a people, we bestow that honor onto her. That was that was just one aspect of the many guests who attended the program.
yeah.
And the foreign minister, the dean of the president's cabinet, Madam Sarah Besloyanti, also read the various, independent compliments, from our foreign missions. So
Yeah.
that to say that a lot of our folks, especially those of our friends in the foreign sector, acknowledge Liberia's independence. They reached out through message, that which were read, by the Minister of Foreign Affairs. The program was heavily engaged. It was
Yeah.
well attended. You understand? That program. I mean, in terms of the attendance rate, the hall that was used at the fairground could not barely contain all of the guests.
Wow.
So there were extension, canopy being placed outside to contain some of the guests.
Did
Especially,
anyone come from the sub-region and then the president or senior official from any of the West African countries
I
that attended that program?
probably this is not being disposed to my knowledge, but
Okay.
I didn't see any president from our sub-region. Probably some senior government officials from these sub-regions were there, and I didn't see them. No, truth be told, but what I do know and I can confirm is that
It was a
the
successful
program was a successful, unique occasion that brought together over thousands of citizens, and both of whom were in country and from the diaspora.
Thank you, Desmond. And so, Edwin, welcome, Edwin. I mean, officially welcome you.
Thank you. I'm enjoying the monologue between the both of you guys. Since you're so interested in knowing about what happened.
Yeah,
in
he
the
was
Buchanan.
there as a journalist, and then I expected that picture. I expected you to paint a picture
Yeah,
of that.
but basically, even those of us that did not go there, we
Yeah.
still follow via the internet. We
Yeah.
saw those things, and he's right.
Yeah,
There was no foreign heads of state on our soil for the celebration,
yeah.
but there was some government officials from friendly government who came to grace the occasion. Yeah, it was a colorful event. I followed that. I listened keenly to the orator, and his message was basically based on Liberians knowing our history, the wonders how can we build. And he actually had this phrase to say, the leaders of today should focus on leaving a better country for the next generation, just rather than themselves, And like Desmond said, it was very colorful. It was well attended. In fact, there was a cultural display of almost all of the counties. Madam Judy Andy, I think, put up a very good show representing all the different counties and stuff. So again, it was a national event. It was well attended. And even for those who were in Monrovia, we all saw the celebrations, the euphoria of the young people driving to the SKD to have their event. It was a wonderful gathering.
Okay, thank you, Edwin. And so before we go to our main issues for discussion tonight, let me hear from you. What is on your mind? What has been trending on your mind? What has been trending on your mind?
Well,
Edwin?
basically, everything that has been trending, I think, is covered within our topic. So
Okay,
for me,
it's covered.
it's covered.
Desmond, anything trending? Any strange thing? And anything outside of our topic
Yeah,
that's on your mind you'd like to talk about? before
Yes, it is for the obvious reason that I would like to, call on the government. There's an open recommendation, especially while it is true we acknowledge the construction of that stretch of road, the road that's from the Greater Tucker Bridge to the Freeport corridor.
Yeah.
But the government needs to also constitute a measures that will try to curtail, or in other words, minimize traffic congestion.
Okay.
Ever since that project has started, with the minimum earthworks, there have been intense traffic congestion along that corridor. So there's a way, in the midst of the construction, there's a way the traffic division of of the Liberia National Police can be to some extent robust in terms of regulating, the free flow of vehicles in the traffic, than to just have everybody running their own thing, cars coming in at the same time burning through. Because what we experienced over the last few days is terrible,
You mean there isn't anyone or traffic police officer who's regulating the traffic?
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that.
I've observed them. They're there most often on the bridge.
Okay.
The problem is that it's a difficult thing to regulate traffic, mainly going towards the Bushra Island, because it's just obviously just one way going in and then one way coming out. But I strongly agree with your recommendation. What they could do right now is to see if they could clear the entire waterside aspect. So vehicles that are coming from that end,
maybe they could
use that route and come up, by way of the Mamba Point corridor and then go rather than everybody go, because the Gibraltar Tucker Bridge is narrow.
Yeah.
So once you have 2-3 lane going in, the whole place get congested. So they have to find a way. But again, riding down waterside again, there's a huge stock of traffic because pedestrians are on the road. The road is flat.
Street vendors,
everywhere. So they have to come up with these, innovation whenever we are about to engage in this kind of a massive project that's going to actually have an impact on the way the people move back and forth.
Okay.
And the thing about these corridors, in the morning, there's a huge traffic inflow of people coming into the city. And then by 5 o'clock, there's a huge outflow of people going back. So if you're able to manage it within that period
between
of
those
time,
given times,
definitely you'll be able. This seems to be happening this side going to
Congo Town.
The Congo Town belt, the Tottenham Boulevard. It's just being innovative and find a way how best we can work around it.
Okay, gentlemen. So thank you. So for me now, what is on my mind is that, quite recently, I stopped by at the PHP Park. The PHP Park that was, constructed during the regime of former President George Weah. And during that time, following the dedication of that park, and people started flowing there, I was among those who were the first to have visited that park. And it was sparkling. All the lights were on. Beautiful place. Even if you took a picture at a time at a park, if you told anyone at a time that you took that picture in Great Britain or the United States or any part of the world, they would believe you because of the beauty of the park. But I'm disappointed that beauty is declining. Many of the lights are not coming on. In fact, most of the cannot say the fence. The fence is broken, and in fact, the basketball pitch or the basketball pitch, I don't know how you call it.
It's a court. The basketball
court. The basketball court. I mean, in fact, it's out of order. I mean, the net is how do you call it? You play basketball before?
No, man. But that should be on net. You're talking about why they drop the ball to make a goal point.
Make a goal points. That has fallen to the ground. Even the football field, the artificial turf is even off. I mean, the entire place is in disarray. It is not as attractive as it used to be. And that is a maintenance problem. So the question, they say, because the current government is not showing any interest in terms of maintenance work, the PHP Park. I've spoken with one or two persons who work there, and they say, quite frankly, they face a lot of challenges. In fact, some of the drainages, I mean, the covers of the drainages have already been removed. Uh, the entire beach near the park is littered with garbage. So that is to say that no one cares. Even the current government doesn't care in terms of ensuring the maintenance of the PHP park. And that's what on my mind. That's what on my mind. I'm absolutely disappointed that the park has turned out. When I visited other parks, like the one in the Do community area, it stayed intact. The one along the road leading to Old Road, how do you
Fish
call
market.
it? Fish Market Park is
Yeah.
also
No, those let me
Yeah.
not even cut you off,
Yeah.
David. I think this
Yeah.
is just sheer stupidity on the part of our country or our government also. And it is not,
stupidity is
of course,
such a
no,
hard
no, no,
word.
no, no, no.
Very hard
And there's a
word.
reason for that. No, there's a reason for that.
Yeah,
If a government comes and take the country resources, or somebody gave us the donation
yeah,
to build a facility for the Liberian people, irrespective of who is in power, we should maintain those facilities
Maintain them,
for the
yeah.
betterment, for the good of the ordinary people.
yeah.
George Weah did not build those things for himself.
For himself, just
He
for the
built it
country.
for the Liberian people. He built it for the people in PHP, Broad Street, other places that could go there for merrymaking. So, what is the big deal for the government to say we're going to set aside maybe small money in the national budget? We have a company that makes sure to maintain those facilities, because at the end of the day, it is serving the ordinary people. So the reason why I say this is sheer stupidity on the part of our leadership and other people, it is because we've had this tendency that because it is this government, so nobody should care about it. And those things lie there and just go in rain. People have spent millions of dollars. I think the PHP park was given to us by a donation from some friendly government. You think, how do they feel
Yeah.
if some other people come here and drive around and see that
And see
they
how-
wasted their taxpayer money there and we don't even care? I've gone to that place. I've driven past there. Like, you are right. The lights are all broken.
Yeah, of course so.
The playing pitch, everything in rain. The
Yeah.
basketball court.
Yeah.
Nothing there
Nothing
seems to
there.
be working.
And this is
We can't keep doing that to our country.
just to throw a little spin on this, specifically with that PHP park. And there was a day we had an interview about how we had the former mayor on the line. That was one of my specific questions, because this government, there have been so many media reports about that park being outsourced to a private firm.
Okay.
So as when the park was constructed initially, it was being fully managed, supervised by the MCC. It was one of the Monrovia City Corporation. As per media reports, that park has been outsourced to a private company called Green Parks Management,
Yeah,
something.
Green Park. That's
Green
it.
Park Management, something like that. So I'm even being told reliably that there have been the proceedings with the issue. I'm quite aware that there is this thing has drawn the attention of the Ministry of State, because according to the report, that contract was single-handedly done by the mayor and that of the management of the Green Park. So now that you have the Ministry of State that believes that that could be some of her scope of operations, and they have revisited that stuff to see whether it was done legally, as per some of the media reports, over time, that there was some faulted actions in terms of the arrangement, how everything went about. But again, that does not in any way
Stop the government from intervening.
give the apprehensions for government to exclusively abandon
that project.
that project. If there's a need that the contract initially did not meet full legal standing, then of course government can go through the legal process and
But-
reclaim the facility and put it on a full management.
Desmond, the very first thing that government needed to have done was to ascertain whether these are all government facilities. Once you get the realization that these are government facilities,
And they should be under the Ministry of State, right?
even
Yeah.
even if there's a company managing it that got some contract being awarded by the MCC to them, the government still has the authority to call that company and say, come, let's sit down and find a way as to how we can contribute for the upkeep and management of this facility, because it is serving the Liberian people. The people who go there come from West Point, Claratown, Broad Street, Newport Street. They go there for recreation. So if you just say, oh, because the CDC government gave it to Mr. X, who would just leave it that way and let everything breaks down, who are you doing it to?
The park that used to be a center of attraction and
Of
recreation
course.
has turned to a place of death trap.
Yeah.
Because if you see the drainages, there's the aluminum zinc that is
Yeah,
all
yeah,
this.
yeah.
The thing, everything have gotten,
yeah.
they are molded up. You know, they have been filled up.
Yeah.
The thing are all broken into pieces. So
Yes,
you
sir.
don't know, you passing mistakenly, you step on that thing, you're going straight down in the ditch.
Yes, of course.
It's wrong.
Yeah.
We shouldn't sit and for our heads. No calamities must start to take place at that park before the government must show that kind of utmost urgency. This is the time.
Okay, gentlemen. So thank you very much. And so, our listeners and viewers, this is the nighttime heat. We are on Prime FM 105.5. My name is David Tagbert, and we are also on YouTube and Facebook. Share the show with your friends and family members so they can be a part of the discussion. The nighttime heat, I mean, this is where we discuss trending national developments. Desmond Wion and Edward Famula here, our colleague Josh Kennedy is not too well to be here. Moses Sandy, I don't know what's happening. Maybe he's sort of engaged with a lot of work to do in the United States, so he's also not on the show. However, gentlemen, these are the topics we're discussing. These are the topics we're talking about this evening on this edition of the Nighttime Heat. Jojo Boakad has finally broken silence, and after a very long time, you know, we've heard this name Jojo Boakad for so many times, linking him to so many things, and he's been quiet for quite a long time. But just a few days ago, he broke silence on allegations linking him to the recent cocaine confiscation is somewhere in the Pinzid area in the Mangill Avenue. He's one of the names that we've been hearing that he should have a role to play in the issue of the cocaine we're talking about. And not only that, a few months back, we've heard his name because the president's son, he's involved in a lot of, allegedly involved in a lot of criminal activities, and no one is bothering him because he's the son of the president. But now Jojo has come up to speak out that all what people are saying about him, all perceptions people have about him, are lies, blatant lies. He knows nothing about anything about drug trafficking and other allegations people that have brought against him. So it's one of the topics we'll be talking about. Jojo Boakai Jr., Joseph Boakai Jr. He's found the broken silence. We'll also be talking about, gentlemen, a Liberian American security expert is accusing the government of Liberia, the institutions of the government, of being compromised, taking bribes, and so not doing the right thing. And that's what, unfortunately, the name of this Liberian American security expert is not mentioned. And I hope that, and that is what I expected, that Moses would have joined us, and he would have been the best person to have given us the name of this Liberian American security expert, because Moses is the one who was presented this particular topic. So that I expected that Moses would have been here to have given us more details, particularly
It's on the internet. If I've been following.
particularly the name of the person. So you've been following, and maybe you will help us with the name. Another issue we're talking about, gentlemen, is that I understand that the Liberian government will, in the coming days, destroyed over 300 million said that destroy drugs worth several millions or $300 million would destroy the drugs. I don't know where would that happen, but it's one of our discussions that the government will be destroying some of the confiscated drugs that we're talking about. The UL, the University of Liberia administration is on a file. Uh, Dr. Mapaya, right? That's the name. Yeah,
Dr. Lila Mampanya.
Leila Mapaya of the University of Liberia is not sleeping well in recent time. She's not having a very good time. The fact that she's embattled, she's not having a very good time in terms of ministering in the affairs of the University of Liberia. The University of Liberia Faculty Association and Staff Association have a problem with the entire administration of the university, talking about uncomfortable working environment, with the administration's alleged inability to provide the benefits of what the faculty association needs to make it efficient and effective in terms of providing education for students of that university. So Mampaya is on a file. In fact, there's this thing about the two members of the legislature who are on the board of trustees of the University of Liberia. That I'm talking about Grangida County Representative Steve. Is this Steve Queer?
No, Steve Queer is from San. It's from River Says.
It's not Steve Queer, but I had to call him. Oh wow, my God! When am I read?
I'm sure. Let me help you. I'm sure.
I'm talking about
the board members who are also representatives
on the trustees.
Nimina Senator Nimina Badekwa, Senior of Greenville County, is the chairperson of the board of trustees.
And the guy from Grangida. There's a guy from Grangida who's also a member of the board of trustees of the
I'm aware of Representative Romeo Quia of Sano County. Sano, that's Sano District number 3.
Not Grangida, but Romeo.
Romeo Quia is from Sano County.
Sano County.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a board member on the board of trustees.
Is member of the board of trustees. Now the University Faculty Association and Staff Association are demanding that these two legislators be removed from the board of trustees because they are in alignment with the university's administration in terms of its failure, that is the administration's failure to create an enabling environment for learning at the state-run university. So it's one of the issues we'll be talking about. Most ability is picking the bone with President Joseph Boakai. Ability's point is that the president did not mention anything about the ongoing investigation about this recent drug bust somewhere in the Pinzil area, the Mangill Avenue. Why most ability's concern is why didn't the president mention that in his independent speech? That shows that the president doesn't have that much interest in terms of the ongoing investigation. So, gentlemen, so these are the topics we'll be talking about. And I'd like for us to take a brief, a short break and come back.
Let's start. Five, four, three, two, 1, 0. Let's start. Five, four, three, two, 1, 0. Let's start.
Okay, so gentlemen, sorry, sorry, we had to take that break. But now let's start with the fresh topic, gentlemen. Giorgio Boaca. This name rings bell a whole lot. The fact that he's the son of the president, the fact that his name has been linked to uh, uh, the discovery of a huge consignment of narcotic drugs, specifically or particularly cocaine. Huge consignment of cocaine discovered in a building on Mangus Avenue. And the investigations are still ongoing. There are a lot of questions. There are a lot of people whose names are being called. In fact, the government is being criticized. There are a lot of people who think that the government is shielding the big names and is only going after the small names. And now, Jojo Boakai is one of the names that uh, people are insinuating that he's part of the cartel. Well, he's being shielded because he's the son of the president. Jojo has been quiet for quite a long time, not only about the drugs. There's so many times people call his name, linked him to so many happenings in the country. Now he has broken silence and he said, look, I haven't been part of any drug cartel or I haven't been part of any drug trafficking in this country. In fact, I've left government and I have nothing to do with what happens in the government. Yes, of course, my father is the president, but I have nothing to do with decisions being made in the government and what is happening in the government. I'm a Liberian. I'm interested in my country becoming a better place or being a better place. Well, I'm out of the government. I have no say in the government. But yet and still, people are dragging me into these uh, unscrupulous happenings or events in our country. So he has broken silence, gentlemen. I know you following that. Now, it's a denial. It's Jojo's denial. Jojo Boakai denial genuine. It's just something to go by. Should we believe him that that he's not part of this cocaine or drug trafficking? As he's saying, there's some. Should we believe him? Should the Liberian people take him for a word that he's innocent? He doesn't have a hand in the drug trafficking that's being talked about. Let me start with you, William.
So basically, it is not within my authority to determine whether Jojo, responds to these allegations as to whether they are genuine or not. But this is one thing that is clear. There is something in, especially when you do communication, there is some key components that you take into account. And that is, when are you speaking?
When?
When?
Okay.
Which is time. At what given point in time? Are you speaking? Are you responding? Are you clarifying? Look, the response from Jojo in fair criticism was belated. Very, very belated. You cannot have a very sensitive, national security threat allegation involving the first family of the republic and then that allegation has been in the public for over weeks, and you as the direct, individual being accused,
One of the
one of the individuals being accused,
Yeah.
you choose not to speak about it until a certain point in time. You say, "Oh, let me just talk because I choose not to talk." I read a statement. You say, "Oh, they don't talk in this thing. You not like to respond for this one." So look, what picture does his response paint?
Is it not a right to keep silent? Is it not a right to remain
It is not. It is not.
silent and speak at any time he wants to speak?
It is not advisable for a person to keep silence in the midst of speculations and allegations involving his character. It is not a good thing to do, David.
Is he who determines that? Is he who determines when to talk or when not to talk?
It is his right, though.
Yeah, in spite of all the speculations and
I'm saying
allegations. Yeah.
why it is his right to speak or remain silent, but it is equally so not a good thing to do, given the weight of the kind of allegations involving your character, living in a world where assumptions, speculations are often turned to be truth.
Well, it's better late than never. He has spoken now.
So now that he
He
has
has
spoken,
this broken silence and
Now
spoken
that-
that he's not part of it.
So-
So what's wrong with that?
I'm saying there is nothing wrong with that, but I have described that silence, the time at which point it came.
The
Is
time you expected him to speak, he didn't speak. So it
not.
doesn't matter.
No, it is not about when Desmond wants him to speak. It is not about when Desmond wants him to speak or respond. It is about the urgency based on the gravity of the allegation that determines at what point he should have responded. David, there cannot be an allegation about you relating to this national, crime, and it's been in the public for over weeks, and you will say no because it is my right to remain silent. So I choose want to speak or not.
There are other people who wouldn't speak at all. They would say that let's
So
even
the consequences is upon them. Now that Jojo has spoken, has it settled the dust? What has it settled? Has it changed the perceptions in the minds of some of those librarians?
So what do you think?
So I'm saying one, his response is belated. That's one aspect of his response. Two, there has been, like you said, which I'm alluding to, since the inception of this government, the first family has allegedly been linked into several activities, whether it is true or not, but it has been allegedly linked into several activities, which is at the rate of crimes. It is not a good thing for a certain president or the first family, for whatever reason, to be accused by the citizens of the citizens of.
Yes, so it's not a good thing for the first family to be accused, but the first family is not in the minds of people accusing it.
So
It's not in the minds of the people that accuse it, because the first family, is almost like the dump site where people throw all the filth. People throw all the filth on the dump site. It is the first family.
so
You have to take into consideration envy and jealousy.
So yes,
Because
I know
they are
that
the
you
first-
would. I know that they are.
because they are the first family.
They are holding
People
public
want to- people-
positions.
People want to
So
drag it. People want to drag it.
Then let's ask ourselves: if assuming over a meeting, because they are occupying public offices as first family, so they become subjected to criticism or to any kind of thing, people just speak out about them. Then let's ask ourselves: is it the only child of this first family? No. He has siblings. Why hasn't there been a point in time that these siblings have been allegedly accused? Or why isn't this sibling or why isn't any member of the first family, being accused, for into whatever crime allegedly, except this one Jojo? Why?
But that doesn't make it.
So I'm saying
that doesn't make it true. That
for the fact that a single member of the first family will continuously being accused, allegedly being linked to multiple crimes, which established investigation has not verified as to whether yes indeed he's part of it or he's not. But for the fact that this one, identical Jojo, who is the genuine to the president, has consistently been in the public glare for whatever reason, I think it is troubling, it is concerning, and the president at the moment, there's a need to have a family reunion to say best to be.
Being consistently accused of being part of crimes.
It has to do with
that doesn't mean that
doesn't mean that you're committing a crime or you have committed a crime. Granted, but it has to do with reputational damage. It has to do with character dispute.
Okay, William. I'll come back to you. Okay, Edwin, you listen to William. He says Jojo's recent response or recent comments regarding allegations against him, allegations that he linked to the recent discovery of drugs, he's part of the cartel. Where Desmond says it's related. He's supposed to have spoken a long time. Why did he waste all that time? Why hasn't he been speaking about all the allegations that people have been bringing against him? Why now? He says he's related. Do you agree with him?
No, I do not agree with him. And let's be candid around here, and let's be very serious when we come to this discourse. It is not about what time you respond. It is about what is the substance of your response. What are the issues that you're responding to? If Jojo have come out the next day when that video came out, the video has not even been authenticated and start speaking, again, the same public will try to magnify, so sometimes people are advised that you do not speak right away to this issue because sometimes you put emotions into it, and then sometimes the thing you want to say, you may, jump away. You have to sit, analyze it, catalog it, and know exactly how to respond. There is this whole tendency in the entire Africa, I can say that for sure, that when a person becomes president, the power around them becomes our children. And again, you don't sometimes want to just brush that off because we see that in our African sub-region. You go to Nigeria now, the most powerful young man there is Tinubu's son. In fact, he moves like, he's the president, And sometimes the kids of these leaders themselves carry themselves as the most powerful people. They want to cut deals. They want to, be the one making decisions. But it depends on the leadership, on the president themselves. Sometimes some of these leaders want to keep their children far from the governance structure because they are parents. Sometimes you get carried away, you get compromised by them. But that doesn't mean that because Jojo is somebody who is friendly, he walks around there, he has friends, people are around, so it means that everything is saying, about him is true. No, you don't literally just try to analyze things that way. Secondly, the cartel, what their video, which is yet to be authenticated, because it has not been verified by anybody to say yes, this video came from Chief. Chief.
Yeah, go ahead.
Chief.
I don't want to put you. I don't want
It was not verified.
I will come back to you.
Okay. It was not verified, and I can tell you why.
Why?
I can tell you why. I know you heard from the Spoon TV.
No, I'm not going to Spoon.
And other people. To verify these things, it takes expert. We live in the technology world. We live in the AI world. Somebody can go and sit somewhere and do a video and even take your picture and put it on there. And then when you see it, I've seen a lot of stuff. Even these Nigerian guys are very good at AI. They even had one with Donald Trump and somebody said they're eating with their hands. You see those things on the internet. Are they authentic? No. But the issue here is that we have to be very careful when we are trying to name people in these things, because at the end of the day, it has to do with repetition. It has to do with the integrity of not only them, but even the people who are their parents. I've been knowing Jojo for some time. Jojo has been a very quiet guy here. In fact, during the Ellen Salif time, his dad was vice president. He was working at Maritime as an honor man to BM Kesseley. You don't see him in all of these things here and there or so. But because there's this belief that once your father is president, you become powerful, big people will come to know you. Sometimes some of these things, people are just using these people's name. So we have to be able to analyze it and say, look, are there any truth in this? How authentic are these things? Not because we hear it and then we just run with it and say, oh yeah, this person is involved, this person is involved. You're right. Why you don't hear Tantan name? Tantan is a regular young man. He hangs out there with people. He's friendly. He go around. Jojo has always been the kind of a conservative type. You don't see him around a lot of people. They, have their own little clique with those, quote unquote, so-called big boys who think they can go sit somewhere, smoke their cigar, and carry on. Sometimes they don't know even what their friends are involved with, but because they're associating with them, so when anything happened, they use that to write on their soul. Jojo, that my friend, or the person that my friend. It has happened to all of us. The other day, we're here arguing on this radio because somebody who is close to the vice president took a picture of another person who was linked. At the end of the day, these people don't even know the activities that these guys are into, but they are all friends. They got up Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, they said, to do. And this is why for some of us who have had some kind of experience in working in the intelligence sector and other places, we are very keen in selecting who our friends are. You don't see me hanging out, sitting around with people, taking pictures. You will never see me do that. Even when I used to be very active, go practice football in the morning. In the morning, I get up, I get in my car, go on the field. After practice, I get in my car, I get home. What are they sitting there, they gathering, drinking, they're carrying on? I don't participate because at the end of the day, somebody could take your picture and could link you. Okay. And bad news is quicker to spread than good news. So once somebody says, oh, but this guy has been named, then they go see one picture with you and Desmond and say, oh, but Desmond know this guy. So Desmond also part of it. Desmond could be a very important person in society. Now to be trying to find a way to link Desmond, but sometimes Desmond has no idea of what that guy was
So you
doing.
think that's the case? That's the situation.
That is obviously the case.
That
That is obviously the case with Jojo and many of the other guys who actually just get out there, go to the cigar bar, and go to smoke.
You think that his denial is genuine?
It's 100% genuine. And like we keep saying, I keep saying this thing. I said it yesterday. What make all of us think that the people who this drug was intended for, the Europeans, the American market, they are not interested in the investigation process? And you think they will leave any stone unturned? If anybody is involved in this thing, you were right here. You broke the news one night that the Justice Minister has gotten in contact with their U.S. counterpart to see how best they can help. If anybody gets named that they were involved, you think the Americans will see them? They will go to the president and say, no, don't do this, don't do that, because drug issue is a global crime. If you terrorism, if you conflict, they do all kind of things. So anybody who is involved in it definitely will have to face the full weight of the law, and nobody will be able to cover up for you. But this thing trying to link people and bring them in, some of the corporates are in jail. Let them go to court and say, these are the people that we're working with, these are the evidence we have. Then you will now have a point to say,
so Desmond, let me come back to you. You wanted to comment when Edwin was in flight. What?
just alluded to it that he's saying that those who make that video should come and help the movie union because they're very good at it. So it means that this is something that was doctored.
So that is why
It's simple to explain.
So
It doesn't have to be AI.
So you are saying the video, the first in the video, you came from a perspective that there has been AI generated, and I talked about.
I said it could be AI generated. We live in the
Let me
AI
use my
world.
time, now, Chief.
No, but no.
Let me use my time.
They don't misquote me. I say it could be AI generated.
Okay.
So that is why I'm making a clarity.
land.
I'm making a clarity that those who are cool with the authority of investigating, who it is part of their responsibility to authenticate that video, because it borders on our national security. Just spoke about the video not being an AI, and that those who did it must be a professional expert. Therefore, he calling on them to come and help the Liberian movie industry. So that issue about all the video is AI generated is done. It's clear that video is not AI generated. As per
So because you said that, yeah, so that, yeah.
oh, but the man who is investigating and said the video is not AI.
But you are an investigative journalist.
So-
what investigation have you
So
done?
one of the most authoritative sources that would have commented on that video authenticity is the Joint Security Team. So the Joint Security Team has spoken that the video is not an AI. So what more about Mr. Formula will still believe that the video is an AI?
No. You actually missed
So
it.
so that is it. Let me
So Desmond,
Mhm.
Desmond, as journalists, sometimes we go beyond what people tell us. We check beyond what people tell us. So now you've already said, oh, it's AI generated.
So Octavia, for your curiosity, since the day that video surfaced on the internet, there have been a lot of people been trying to validate the authenticity of that video. There are ways you can determine video being projected or generated by AI. There are ways through which, if a video is it's not being AI generated, you can know. So if you to ask me as a journalist as to whether I have done my own independent investigation to know whether the video is AI or not, honestly speaking, I am not an IT specialist.
So let's get something clear first, Mr. William. This video we're talking about now, what is contained in it?
There were the allegations.
What is it depicting? What is the video depicting?
The video pointed to several allegations wherein through Jojo, who have now spoken about, was allegedly linked of conniving with the drug cartel, of which in a video I heard about was it 10 million? What is that being given?
No, it's a 2 million.
2 million, good.
Yeah.
2 million being given. So that video is a contentious issue. And now that the Joint Security Team has come to clarify to say, look, the video is not AI generated. So I'm saying there's a possibility, there is unnecessary possibility that the Joint Security should treat that video, make sure and try to deploy some level of investigation, if possible, those who have crafted that art. If they are not even around our borders, there's a need the Joint Security Team can be able to trace them and to make sure that they can be able to answer to some of the questions. Because if that is not an AI as it is being reported by the RG, they mean that a human being themselves.
So you are an investigative reporter. Do you think it's AI or not?
So I was saying, look, as an investigative journalist, this kind of investigations, it is not just about being an investigative journalist. It requires specialized skills, especially those who are in the artist sector.
You think you don't have that skills?
I'm not an artist specialist, and I don't have to pretend to be one.
Okay.
To authenticate videos, these kind of things are squarely some of the functionalities of those who do computer science, information technology, of which I didn't do. So I don't have to pretend that I am. So what I'm saying, a lot of those who have been seen on Facebook and other places, some of those who have done computer engineering, computer engineering, by the way, or information technology. Some of them are written on a personal page saying, "Oh, the video is on AI." We're also seeing that too from few politicians' pages, And now that the government have clarified to say, "Look, it is not an AI," and the actors who crafted that, they must be a professional expert. Therefore, they should come and help the Liberian movie industry.
So, gentlemen, after 9 o'clock, we have.
So let me just respond to it because
you
allow just want to be going in cycles. The video doesn't have to be AI generated. The video can be generated by just unscrupulous people that want to create some kind of a small screen. And if the IG is saying to you, the people who created that video should come and help the movie industry, it means that he's being sarcastic about the video itself.
Yeah.
That's common sense.
Yeah.
You don't even have to jump
I agree with
into
that.
it.
He being a sarcastic.
He being sarcastic of the video itself. Please wait for me.
Yes, man.
All right.
You're coming. I will allow you to come in.
I said the video could have been AI because we live in the AI world today. I'm not saying that the video is AI. Now, if the IG say the video is not AI, but the people who did it, they are very good at it, so they should come and help the movie industry, it means that he's being sarcastic about it.
Yeah. And I agree with that.
Let's agree to that. Also, again, the state securities, the state apparatus will look into the authenticity of those things basically based on evidence. Somebody just sitting somewhere and say, I gave somebody $2 million, we did this, we did that, and this person did. In fact, we brought 10 ton, and the people only took 4 ton. What happened to the 6 ton? And all of these things. Look, I keep telling you guys, we live in the age of technology that it's possible to do a lot of things with this mobile phone or with a video camera or so. So you cannot rule those things out and say what the people were saying, this thing is authenticated, it's coming from Colombia, and the people are saying Israel. So we need to be careful when we try to disseminate this kind of information to our audience. My thing is that there was an allegation made. Jojo decided to come and clear his side. And basically what he put out there, that's what the state security will look at. And then, like I said, the people who are in jail, they caught 2 of the foreigners here, right?
Yeah.
Let them go to the court tomorrow and say, look, we're working with this person. This is the evidence. They even have their phones now. They have their phones. It means that they will have access to their call log. It means that they will have access to the messages. Let them try to link the high-profile people that everybody's saying that, oh, there are high-profile people involved in the drug thing. Let them prove them that they are part of the whole cartel.
Yeah.
Then that is the evidence that you can use to prosecute.
We have to transition. So
a few seconds.
Yeah.
So ahead. there is one correlation between the public, between the public speculations and with the video, also the video allegation aspect. What even was said today? Today there was a whole lot of news. That today that they burned down the consignment being arrested. In the initial consignment being arrested, they burned down it today, and
they burned it today.
Yeah, they burned
the LDA burned that.
They burned the $370 million.
Okay. So they burned everything. Everything.
They burned the $370 million drug today.
Not the 90 million.
No.
Okay. So today the LDA also announced that this crime, there's a possibility as per some of the ongoing investigations, there's a possibility that hardcore people of which you're referencing previous government, because according to him it started as per reports determining that the thing started at a given point as far back as 2018 up to where we are. So he also acknowledged that there's a hardcore people who may have facilitated the process.
Who may have.
Yeah. Who may have.
Yeah.
In that he also announced.
That's what
he also announced that the guy from airport are coming.
If you say who may have, that means he's not sure.
But investigation is ongoing, so he cannot speak definitely to say they have. If a law enforcement officer speaks that they have, it means that you have the evidence already in your possession. But there's an ongoing investigation. So he's speaking a very modest form to say, look, for our preliminary findings, it is not possible that this cartel will operate exclusively without the help or support of those in bigger positions. Then there's also draw in the allegation of the video that was linking the president's son. You understand? I'm not saying that the IG acknowledge that the video is what they say in the video that too. No, that is what I'm saying. He acknowledged that the video is not an AI generated. Granted. He also acknowledged that the cartel must have been facilitated by bigger ops, which he said. So our concern is if this is coming from the joint security, and given the fact that video is also depicting that there have been people who have been allegedly linked or whom now the one of the president's sons will reference, is it not concerning that the joint security at this point that should be talking about robust, comprehensive investigation to see our best, look, giving their own belief that this must have been facilitated by bigger ops, to see how they can start to look around that circle and try to press all hands on decks and see how to bring those who may have facilitated the process to book. So the another thing, let's see, just before you transition, let me close on this. The IG also announced that there have been few officers who, investigation is ongoing, especially with the manner in which they have been handling some of these, suspects. They have been, and he also announced about the deputy director of the airport authority. I said not airport authority, but the LGA commander there at the Rabos International Airport. So you see the level that the investigation is going right now.
David, let me say this, man. Look, let's start.
But David, you can get the time. You run to the man.
David, let's start going in circles, right? Let's start going in circles.
Okay, transitions.
We have a lot of things to cover, right? I said it on the radio last time when you and myself were here. I said this particular issue go far back, as far as 2010, 2011, 2012, when they were coming back. Because no cartel come into the country in a month or 2 or 3 years and bring in 300 million out of war for drugs. I said it. I don't know whether the IG was listening to me last night, because for him to come and just say today that this thing start far back, it means that they understand what they're doing. And some of us who've been through this whole process before also understand how it works. That in itself, and I said it last night, you could have had former officials who are at high up who initiated that process. And I said it. I said, and when they were leaving, what they did was that they could have passed the people on to the other people. Sometimes not to the real people who are at the top, sometimes at the middle level, and say, look, these guys will be able to work with you to channel this thing through. So it's a deep dive conversation or investigation that the security apparatus have to do to deeper to be able to actually come
okay, so gentlemen, so this takes us to our next topic about the Liberian American security expert who is accusing our government institutions of being compromised, taking bribes. I mean, undermining the ongoing investigation. They're taking bribe, and that reminds me of the situation at Liberia National Police. You remember, a senior police officer was dismissed. Was disrobed and dismissed for taking a bribe of I think that you said $10 million.
10,000.
10,000 United States dollars. 10,000 United States dollars, and admitting that he received that money. I guess this is what this Liberian American security expert is alluding to, that government institutions have been compromised in the entire drug probe or investigation. William, what do you think?
So for the obvious reason,
unfortunately, we don't have the name
of
Mr.
Johnson.
Johnson, what's
I've been following some media reports. Johnson, I may not get a full name.
Okay,
but it means it doesn't matter right now.
That's a Liberian American expert.
Yes.
Okay, Johnson, who suggested
his name actually doesn't matter. What matters most is the contestation in his argument.
Yeah,
that's what we got to look at. He said, government institutions do not have the moral rectitude to conduct or to continue this investigation on grounds that some elements within these institutions have started confessing of receiving bribes.
I think if Moses were on the show, he would have agreed with you. He would have sided with you.
Even the audience, even our audience are listening right now. They are becoming to sour with me out of the deep understanding from the conscience.
How do you know that?
Because
that's an interesting one. How do you know that the audience siding with you?
Because I don't have to be a magician to know that. Okay. When the police inspector general himself told the Liberian people that one of his senior officers confessed of receiving bribe. That's
a single person. That's one person.
No. So let me say this again. today, I was at the ministry press conference and I followed the entire briefing.
Yeah.
There was shocking revelations of the IG, and I thought some of the things would have been cataloged when I was today's talking point.
Uh-huh.
The IG also announced that the names. I'm not going to be frank with the names because that is about serious issues. But the IG announced the videos are all there that even a patrol or patrol officer or a commander or patrol man was enabling the cartels using police vehicles with sirens. He said that. Of which he also named the I don't know, the LDA deputy commander or commander at the Rabos International Airport. He announced it just a few hours ago at the Ministry of Information. He said a whole lot of shocking revelation, David. So if these things are coming from the joint security, then what more do we expect from the Omar in Douala, who does not understand how these kind of investigations are done? We hope and look onto the joint security to conduct an impartial investigation. Those who are responsible to conduct an impartial investigation, members of the institution are becoming to admit of receiving bribes. Isn't that a conflict of interest? And that is where I want to agree with the Liberian American officer that look, at this point, we need international security expert to conduct or to continue.
Yeah, independent
Yes,
experts.
to continue, or better to initiate an independent probe into this entire investigation.
Okay, Desmond. Let me go back. Let me go to Edwin.
So I totally disagree with
Mr. William.
my brother and friend in the US.
Okay.
I think his name is Roy Johnson or
Yeah.
some stuff. Yeah, but basically, let me say this: you do not cast a doubt on your entire country because, like you rightly said, one or two persons have been accused of being involved in conniving or taking bribe for certain activities on behalf of the cartel. So no.
But the fact that you've taken bribe, Edwin,
I'm
the fact
coming
that
at
you've
you.
taken
You
bribe,
compromise the entire president.
the fact that Edwin, the fact that you've taken bribe, you've taken 10,000 United States dollars, and you've
Senior
admitted,
officers.
that's in connivance with the cartel.
Again, does that in itself to the whole dark cloud, the entire security sector, that they are not capable of carrying on these investigations? Now, we also be sitting here and say it is a joint security investigation operations, comprises of DEA, NSA, immigration, justice, police, and so forth. So if other elements have been involved and they've been taken out of the system, this whole thing of us always coming to say, oh, let's bring independent people, let's do this, let's do that. When the independent people come, who do they work with? Do they just work from the clear blue sky? They work with the same security apparatus. Now, the fact that the government has, that the police authority has been able to identify people and pick them out is showing a very strong signal that they have a grip on the situation to know that once you are involved with it and you get compromised, you're going to be punished. I've never heard about NSA people being compromised in this investigation. I've never heard about immigration people being compromised or people from the Ministry of Justice being compromised. There are elements within the police. 106, yes. He was identified. In fact, he confessed. And his confession was based on investigation by another security entity that brought this out that say, look, this guy was involved and he confessed to it. And right away, the police took actions. Today, the police director, the police IG announced at the press conference that there are other senior officials within the police also that have been linked and they will be identified. I think I just saw one of their pictures on the internet. So as these things going on, look, even in the great United States, when these investigations are ongoing, there are security people that get compromised. They don't take the investigation from the FBI or they don't take it from the NSA or the CIA and say, oh, let's bring people from China or let's bring people from Europe to carry on the investigation. We have to trust our process. And like I said, you can bring the expert from anywhere in the world. They will have to work with these institutions to be able to unearth what has happened. So give them the chance to carry on that work professionally. Now, if you want to authenticate that report, then you can seek a third-party intervention to say, look, these are the reports from the investigation. Look at it. We give you all of the evidence, all of the fact. See what we have done here makes sense. And in a lot of instances, I started one last night with the awesome issue at the Capitol building.
Yeah.
And in most instances, they will come back to side with the report that coming from your people, because they will definitely not take those things from Utopia. They will have to take it from the people who you know trying to castigate, say that because of one or two persons have alluded to taking bribe, it means that they're incompetent, they can no longer carry on the investigation. No, it doesn't work that way. There are people who are trained in this country to carry on such an investigation.
But the fact that, Edwin, the fact that the elements in the system who've been compromised, who receive bribe, and have admitted, that has cast a special and entire.
No, but they have been
entire security system.
It doesn't change anything.
No, it changed a lot of things.
That has cast a special and
It changed a lot of things. Like I said,
I'll come to you, Desmond. Don't worry.
like I said, if this was only the police, the Liberia National Police carry on this investigation, then you can say that there's a problem. But it's a joint security investigation, comprises of all of the other security agency. So you see, what people don't understand, in security, there are layers over layers. So if it passed this crack, it's possible that it will not pass the second crack.
Okay, Desmond.
You know, Mr. Formula, in trying to, did it down this entire thing. This is very serious, right? If for any reason I am the institution that responsible to conduct the investigation, who is that institution responsible to conduct that investigation? And members of not just any kind of member. Let's get that underscore that. Not just any kind of member. Senior ranking officers. We're not discussing about just ordinary policemen. Senior ranking officers who have command, who can give instruction, have openly admitted of being compromised.
It's just one person, Desmond.
Look.
Just one person among millions, among hundreds of
thousands. That is the one person that has been discovered. Have you asked yourself far more about the people who have not been discovered? If for any reason because it has been established that within the police, officers, agents within the police have becoming to get compromised. That is not just the one person. The police, the IG also announced today that in fact, commander of the patrol, the guys that are going to be on the highway, they able the guys then to use police escorts. The IG announced that. He also said, by referencing the LDA deputy or commander, one of them at the Ramos International Airport. You understand? So with this kind of senior officers being allegedly linked to the commission of the crime, this is concerning. And that is why I said it is not conscious enough that we will allow the police to continue to lead this investigation. I agree. I'm not trying to be dismissive that indeed, we don't have other security, agency as part of the joint security team. We have the NSA and a few other people. But the police is the one leading the investigation. That is why the preliminary finding starts with the police and then you are forwarded to the court. But another interesting thing, I'm sure not many of us may have followed. Since the officer Johnny Dean, issue was announced, I think a week or two ago, the IG announced that he was being subjected to the crime department for investigation and subsequently being forwarded to court. Has he been forwarded to court? Have we asked ourselves how many days has passed? Is the police still investigating him?
Mr. President, Honorable Vice President.
Have you found that out that he hasn't been taken to court?
So if the police at the time,
no, I'm asking you now.
So that's what I'm asking. I have not found that out. I have not found that out as to whether he has been taken to court. But it is also behooves the police, upon taking him to court, to make it popular, just as they have done with the other suspects.
So let me just answer that.
No, like, come in.
Yeah,
You want answer for you answer the other police?
No, but we can't. This is not.
No, but you know you come in disrupt my time. That is why you normally do.
But this is not a model law.
Mr. Formula, you talk for almost 16 minutes.
Okay, that's when you have 30.
Interrupted.
That's when you have 30 seconds to learn now.
So, the officer Johnny Dean, who the IG announced that he openly confessed and he was being disrupted from the police and then subjected for investigation. Is the police still investigating Officer Johnny Dean? For how many weeks? Before forwarding the call.
So as an investigator,
I closing on this.
Stop by at the police station to engage IG Coleman or any of the senior officials to find out, because you want to investigate.
It is the responsibility. Look, I agree, but it is the responsibility of the police, of the joint security team, when forwarding these guys to the court, just as they are done in other cases. We saw what they did. We saw how they did the foreigners, and they were all put on cameras taking the court. One more about some of those officers who in the process.
Desmond, Edwin.
So let me get your
final thought on the vote.
There's
next topic.
There's a professional standard deviation.
Yeah.
And when you listen to the IG comment on the day that he announced that one of his officers have confessed that yes, he was giving money to give the guys in prison some kind of a comfort, and based on his admittance, he was disrobing him and turning him over to the professional standard division. It's an investigation process. It's not something that you just run there and just leave. There are other things that they want to actually dig out. And the IG also said emphatically that day that if evidence prove that he was involved in the crime, he would be forwarded to the Ministry of Justice for prosecution. That is the process. This is not, Chief, you're talking about Itogo, please.
No, that's not way.
So these things are not about emotions. They are about actually understanding how the system worked. First of all, you're talking about these high-profile security people. No, these are not high-profile security people. These are people who, many of them were just appointed by the IG. From 100,
I did not in big. I did not in you cannot dismiss the position of these people.
Desmond, let him learn your comment.
The police run from 100, 101, 102, 103, 104. Those are people who are appointed by the president himself, and they go for confirmation hearing. All the other 106, 111, these are people who the IG and other authorities of the police now bring on board to hear certain operations or so. But the most senior people in the police
are the presidential
appointee. So let us not confuse the public when we say high profile. Johnny Bolladin, yes, 106. He part of the investigation team and so and the different stuff at the police. You get one-on-one. Even the patrolmen, those are not high-profile people. Those are people who maybe are assigned in the Mangibi corridor that, park their cars along the road to see how traffic is being moved or so. These are police officers. We're not backing the idea. We are not backing their activities for what they have done. But if you want to see high-profile police people, so therefore that disqualify the police of carrying on the investigation, then you're not being fair. Because
so Edwin,
I said this to
Edwin,
you. Yeah.
Let me ask you the question.
Yeah,
are you suggesting that when those appointed by the president are high profile, is that why you say
that is the interpretation?
When it comes to the hierarchy of the police or the security sector, those appointed by the president are the hierarchies of the police. Those are the high profile people. Now, there could be other people who are at superintendent level, who are supervisor level, who are patrolman level. Those are people who the authority of the police appoint and put them in certain positions because of maybe the longevity in the police, the understanding of the police operations itself. But if we try to magnify that they are high, because the argument here is that the police has lost the credibility to actually carry on this investigation, right? That's what the guy in the US is saying, and Desmond is also backing that idea. That's the idea. So I'm saying that if 2 or 3 managers or directors of an institution is compromised in some kind of investigation, does that give us the right to condemn the entire entity, say based on the actions of 2 managers, this entity can no longer carry on this function? No. And if the institution have identified those people and weed them out of the system, right? And then this entity is also working with other entity to be able to unearth what has happened, I think we should give them the chance rather than just saying, hello, they cast them out, the security of Liberia cannot carry on the investigation, bring foreigners. The foreigners come. Where do they start from? They will start from the same people that you want to cast out. And then if the people now refuse to give them the relevant information, then it compromises the whole process.
So, gentlemen, we have another drug-related topic here.
I just got
Desmond, what you want to say again?
Yes, you know, he mentioned me in his analysis. Look, when I said high-ranking officers, it has been very disingenuous on a part.
If you say high-ranking and high-profile, I think it's similar.
So that was my choice of word I used.
Okay.
When you're trying to misquote my word, and when you quote me, you gotta be exact. I said high-ranking officers, but whatever the case, high-ranking, high-profile, these are their synonyms.
Yeah, similar.
So I'm saying you cannot disparage the position of Johnny V, 106, to say, oh, the man is not he's not a high-ranking officer.
You're not appointed by the
Because
president.
you're not appointed by the president. You cannot also dismiss the position of the patrolman. Somebody who controlling that whole structure route. They said because no, not appointed by the mayor, appointed by Gregory Cuomo, so the mayor is not a high-ranking. So that is a miss. I mean, that was a misinterpretation, I think, on the part of Mr. Famulette, or no. But again, let me say this.
Let
me say this.
Let's learn on it now.
I want to learn on this. The police, I'm not in any way categorically condemning the actions of the police. No. I am saying, given the nature of this investigation, and to safeguard the integrity of this investigation,
from the police.
It is just advisable enough that the joint security, be heavily assisted by our international partner to initiate an independent. No. To initiate an independent probe. You see, you want to show you keep misquoting me, and I just have to correct you again.
You supported the diaspora guy argument that the police should not be involved in the investigation because they've been compromised.
How possible? Even when we bring joint security and we bring international experts, how possible international experts will conduct the investigation by themselves? They will stand in the support of the police. I am saying, which I said and I'm saying, is that we need international partners to lead an independent investigation.
Okay, Wayne. I guess you've learned it. And so,
for the sake of time.
And so, for the sake of time,
I have learned on this.
The government. This is another drug-related topic. In fact, 2 drug-related topics we still have here. Because most ability has taken issue with the president. And this one about government is now planning to burn. I think that's why you're talking about the destruction of drugs worth $300 million United States dollars. We have a video here. Play the video to listen to them. They have our views on it.
So folks, if you are there just joining us, we want to welcome you to the official Facebook page of the Liberia National Police. Here today, we are in Carisburg to bring the 2 consignments of drugs cocaine that was arrested on June 8th and on July 21st, one at the airport and another one in the field community on the robbery. So if you are there, we are informing you that the drugs is being brought here to the burning site. So please be informed that the Liberia National Police, along with other state actors, so before they just be burnt, it must be tested first. It must be tested first.
Your afternoon there with the press. The other day
afternoon.
was at Drazon. There we pick all those things from. And we do the test there. I think everybody saw the test result over there. So we are going to repeat the test here to make sure what we take from Drazon is the same thing that we are doing here today. So your split wash up and cut up.
That's the information is saying that the trust was arrested and they were tested.
But for the sake of time,
There's no answer that follow the
we
program
can't
today.
we can't play the entire video. Gentlemen, you've listened. That's the Liberian government through the Liberian National Police and others burning recently confiscated drugs. Around Monrovia, some were confiscated from the port, the free port, some were confiscated along the Arai Highway, the Mangi.
Did I hear you say Freeport?
No, it's
Not
the
Freeport,
airport.
the airport.
Yes, sir.
The
$2
airport.
million drug.
The airport and somewhere else, the drugs were burned today, right?
Mhm.
And so gentlemen, like our views on that. The government burning the grass. So what does it mean? What does it mean? What do you think about the action taken by the government today? It's not the first time we've heard the police and others, the LDA burning drugs, and that has happened many times here. But yet and still, we have the proliferation of drugs across the country.
Yes.
So what difference would this one make?
So everywhere in the world, that is the normal procedure. And I actually saw the some exchange between former Vice President Joe Howard Taylor, who is a lawyer, and also the current EPS director on the issue of. In fact, her argument was that why are they burning the drugs when those drugs will have to be used as evidence at the court? And in his response was that is a normal procedure everywhere in the world. When drugs are caught, once they get confiscated, they have to be destroyed because the drugs itself is a very tempting commodity that you don't want to keep it around for too long with security people handling it back and forth. However, there are processes and procedure in gathering such an evidence that you can, do, and then at the end of the day, you have to get rid of, those particular contrabands. And I think that's what the police did today. In as much as some of the people, I saw some people on the internet were still denying the fact that those were not the drugs that were confiscated. In fact, some of them said that were powdered. The government were burning just to be able to fool the people. But this again, what it does is send a clear court signal to the cartel.
Yeah.
That when you bring these things here, and when they get caught, they will be destroyed. So definitely, it puts them in some
But
kind
that's
of
sufficient. That's sufficient to stop the cartel from bringing more.
Well, the sufficiency of that itself. Nobody wants to lose $300-400 million. The process is the pass through to
So
even
the burning
produce
would
our
deter
drugs.
them.
The burning is also a form of deterrent.
Deterrence.
Yeah. Also, the investigation process threatening the security of the state to send a signal to them that our territory will not be used also serve as deterrent. So what the government did today was laudable, and I think everywhere in every civilized society, including even the U.S., when these drugs are caught, once they get confiscated, they have to be destroyed right away.
Okay, so I just got a text from Moses. Moses says he couldn't be here. He's sorry for the late response, that he's not available tonight due to a very serious busy schedule. Anyway, move on. Let me hear from you.
Yeah, so listen to Mr. Famole. I was very specific as to whether he would have maybe quoted a law or provisional clause in our constitution.
The fact that he's a lawyer,
he's a lawyer that says,
acting in the law.
that says an FOC can be destroyed while the investigation is ongoing. Because this has been.
That's a serious concern that you're raising. That's a very serious concern. I'd like to. Well, let me pause if someone can to Edwin. I'll pause. I'll come back to you. I will give you your time. Edwin, what does the law say about that? Drugs were then confiscated, and the investigation is continuing, or the investigations are continuing to determine how the drugs enter the country, who brought them, and who all are linked. Why the investigations are still in progress? The confiscated goods of drugs have been burned. I mean,
is there any law?
Is there any law?
Like I said in my opening statement, that's best international practice everywhere in the world.
Okay.
If you want to disprove me, check the United States. How they do that?
But there is no law.
Hey, Chief. Well, you asked me a question now. Listen. Laws are not crafted in stone. And what people need to know that law are also reasoning. All right. When the counselor at law, when Counselor Joe Howard Taylor put that argument forward, these are evidence. Why you guys want to destroy the evidence before the case go to court? There was a response. She raised the issue, and there was a response from an individual who once served as the USDA special agent for West Africa, who happens to be Mr. Sam Gay, the EPS director. And he went on her post and said, Madam, this is the best practice everywhere in the world, even in the United States that have been fighting drugs for almost 50 years. Whenever these drugs are confiscated, they're not put into vehicles and carried to the court to show as evidence. There are processes you can take samples and things from there as the evidence. You have to destroy the rest of them, because you keeping it on your territory, it also creates some insecurity problem. There is also the possibility
destroying the evidence while the case is ongoing.
You are not destroying the evidence. People, like I said, right? Once you confiscate it, because this is a very dangerous substance.
Yeah.
You're talking about almost librarian value, almost $370 million. It becomes a huge security risk. 8 persons being on your soil, being guided by your security people, right? It is a hard cash. It's possible that it could start getting sneaked out of that place graduated by people. Everybody would not be the same way as the other person would be. I could have different intent.
Okay. Let me go to Desmond.
So the reason for which I asked the question as to whether there has been specific laws that support the action of the joint security this afternoon, because we have seen in this country, and I'm sure that has been widely circulated, as one of the major reasons for which the previous administration lost that case against. They lost the case involving 100 million worth of drugs.
Yeah. That
all the people they discovered money alone, the drugs, and according to the reports that they used the money for intelligent purposes. And the court said, well, that was an evidence. And so that's how the guys, according to what we've been seeing on the Facebook, we've been seeing, some media reports, that was one of the major reasons. It may not be the primary reason, but one of the major reasons that led to these guys. And because one of the pieces of evidence, was destroyed, which has to do with the physical cash that was discovered.
No, the cash was
not
destroyed.
You're coming.
I'm coming now, my man. You can't be like this.
He's trying to actually bring it back. Okay, go ahead.
So now we see a similar step in a different version.
Yeah, okay.
In this case, the drugs, which is the evidence. The investigation is ongoing. In fact, the investigation has not even it has not done anything yet. They have more suspects according to the RG. The investigation is uncovering more details. Why these processes are ongoing? The state has now burned down or burned the evidence, destroyed the evidence.
It says internationally
besides
accepted standard.
Besides, we are now expecting some of our international partners to come and support this process. I listened to the Justice Minister today. He said, in fact, the Moroccan embassy have given a green call. In fact, the IG also said the Rwandan police have expressed interest to send a troop, to send folks, some experts to work alone.
With the local security system. Yeah.
Yes, even the U.S. government, the drugs department.
So what is the point?
So the point is, all these international partners that we have made requests to come and help our joint security, they have not reached. They are coming. While they are coming, the state is now destroying the evidence. Don't you think if these people come and say, look, apart from what we see on videos, what is this? Is it possible that we can see physically sad verification?
But the fact that burning the drugs or the narcotics is an internationally accepted standard or principle or practice. I don't think the international experts who will be coming would have problem with that. That is acceptable as far as investigations surrounding narcotic drugs are concerned.
My argument has not been and will not be condemning burning down or burning the drugs. No, that is not what I'm saying.
The argument is destroying the evidence.
That is not what I'm saying. You understand?
So what is your argument? Destroying the evidence?
Destroying the evidence. Why the experts are coming to help you, and that they may need to see the evidence for themselves, and why the case is also before the court. And another interesting issue is annually there is a period. So it should be around like May, something like May, where the world will celebrate Anti-Drug Day. It is at that point. The Liberal Drug Enforcement Agency, normally, what we have observed over the years,
normally burns
all these drugs when they catch them, when they confiscate them, they will go and burn them. So why isn't the government patient at this point? To hold on to these substances. If I want to dive into the perception of Mr. Famole, believing that maybe the state actors, for whatever reason, they are allegedly just worthless. And people may want to just out with the booze and whatever different reason they want to do it. So it is dangerous for the government to keep the substance. According to what he said, it is dangerous for the government to keep the substance, but to destroy it abruptly. If that could be true, then what does it speak for the capacity? The capacity of the government.
It's your standard procedure.
So let me just
Edwin,
it's a standard procedure.
It's a standard procedure.
It's a standard procedure everywhere in the world. When a drug is confiscated, it's destroyed. Even in the great United
States. It's destroyed, but at what point in time? Let me say this. We're not saying that it's
destroyed right away.
Right upon seizure.
Take it to say we carry it to warehouse to keep it. Have you ever seen where they carry drug cartel to court and they put the drugs in trucks to carry there as evidence? You think that's how you think that's how evidence are guarded? First of all, the $100 million drug case that you try to allude to, the issue was not about the evidence not being taken to court. The issue was that the people, quote unquote, that were brought to the court were not the actual people who are linked to the consignment that came. And what happened to that drugs? It was burned. When it was confiscated, when it was picked up, in fact, they didn't even keep it. They didn't even carry it anywhere. They took it strictly to and destroyed them. We've been seeing drugs being confiscated from the local people here. What do they do with it? Do they take them to the court? The LDA take it in the field, marijuana, whatever is kush or so, and burn them. That is a standard procedure everywhere in the world.
So when these drugs are confiscated, specifically where they are kept?
In most instances,
and then their destruction,
in most instances, what they would do first, right? In some instances, the LDA would take it to, once they're about to indict you, they would take you along with the consignment to the court. The court looked at it, all right? And then they would do the charge sheet. And then after that, the court turned it over to the LDA for destruction, because the evidence is just the snapshot, the pictures and stuff, because the court or the state cannot protect that particular contraband. Like I said, you're dealing with human beings. Everywhere in the world, people get compromised. Everywhere. And looking at the kind of security threat that surround these things, you don't want to keep it in the border for a long time. If the cartel knows that the drug has been destroyed, you think they will come after that drugs? No, they won't. But if they know that you have the drug kept somewhere, definitely if they have the capacity to come after it, they will come after it because that's hard cash. You know.
And yeah, just before we make progress, another interesting revelation that was revealed today by the IG, Mr. Tagwe, you know that I'll show a lot of our people who follow you since the discovery of these drugs, this consignment, especially the recent discovered consignment from Roxville, not Roxville, but the Maguez Avenue. Liberian people were never made to believe that there was a cash being arrested along with the substance.
How much is the cash?
Today, in a very shocking revelation, the IG announced that $7,000. But then again,
7,000 has always been announced.
what?
7,000 has always been announced.
Is it has always been announced?
Always been announced.
It has where?
It was announced. They did the drug. They did even the drug.
Okay. No,
Even the weapon.
Hello.
The
Up to now, we still have all of those discover attempts along the drugs.
Yeah.
There was the 7,000 was never there.
I'm very sure.
I'm very sure. Stop it. That's what everybody was shocked when the IG announced that they arrested 7,000.
Kevin Demian, I was on this radio.
We can talk together.
Kevin Demian, I was on the radio. We discussed it lengthily. Everything that was discovered.
So why wasn't that captured in the charge?
Coming out.
No, that's
No. Including this, it is within the charge sheet, including the CDs, the drones, everything. The pistol, the money, everything.
The swimming jacket, all the stuff.
Chief.
Now,
In fact, people argue that it is not possible that consignment of drugs will be in there. Only $7,000 will be there. So people started arguing. This lady, Marada Yakula, even wrote on her Facebook page saying that how is it that people will have that kind of a drug and
without money, no, she doesn't. Without money being discovered,
it's also possible that they can have that drug.
Okay, briefly, let me get your individual views on the issue Musa Belete. It seems the drug-related issue. Musa Belete has taken President Joseph Boakai to task. President Boakai spoke recently at ceremonies marking the observance for Liberia's 179th independence anniversary. But he didn't mention anything about an ongoing investigation. And Musa Belete has a qualm with that. Musa Belete says that the fact that the president did not mention anything as far as the ongoing investigations are concerned, the president is careless. He doesn't care. He's not taking it seriously. Let me start with you, Edwin.
I think you should start because he was in Basa. Yes.
Does Musa Belete have
why you want the man to start with me?
No. I'm moderating. I'm asking you, Edwin. Does Musa Belete have a general such a national occasion?
Let me
such
say
a very important day.
He has no general point.
The birthday of the country. The president is speaking on that day, and did not mention this high-profile case of a drug. So, Edwin, and you say Musa Belete doesn't have a genuine concern.
So Musa Belete does not determine when the president mentions national issues or not.
Who determines that?
The presidents determine that as to when to speak to what issues. That was the Liberian Independent Day occasion, what he spoke there. That was what he wanted to us, be spoken of. And people should stop politicizing these things. When the drug issue happened, they push the president. Oh, you have to do this. The president had a statement, came on the radio and spoke to the nation about this drug issue. The president, few days after, the president called a cabinet meeting on the same drugs issue. He passed down information and authority to his people as to what to do. So the president going for Independence Day celebration, he's able to stand there and say, we'll make sure we'll fight this drug issue and we'll do this and that. Let Musa then wait for 2029. You know, because I even listened to him today shouting, "We will do this and this drug thing." Also,
Okay, let me
the
go to
drug thing
that.
just didn't start yesterday.
Okay, Edwin, let me go to that.
That's it.
You know, sometimes
Uh-huh.
the way Mr. Famunde speaks, I struggle to see his patriotism. Honestly,
Why do you struggle?
look,
You always struggle.
at a moment,
Uh-huh.
there is nothing worth concerning as compared to the drug issue.
So the president's officer mentioned that.
David, it was just responsibly enough for the president for at least a paragraph re-emphasizing and reaffirming his government
So the
commitment,
fact that he didn't mention that.
his government commitment
the fact that
to
he
the
didn't-
fight against drugs.
So that's for the fact that he didn't mention that.
It means that it's just for-
No, I cannot. No, I don't share a similar view of Mr. Bello that the president is not is careless or not.
What has it changed about the ongoing event? The fact that the president didn't mention that in his speech, independent.
That
Oh,
means the president
yes.
take it serious.
There's a possibility of creating more doubt in terms of lack of public confidence. For the thing has been, for the past 1 month plus now, Labrador is heavily confronted with the drug issue. The president has only spoken about this once publicly. You really think that is sufficient? We have a national program where the president was delivering a message of national inclusion and unity. The country is heavily concerned being confronted with this national pandemic, of which everybody, including some of our international partners who were there, expected the president for at least a paragraph in his speech
No,
to
international partner to it.
to have re-emphasized and reassure the Liberian people of his government's commitment in fighting drugs. That was not done.
Okay, Desmond. For your views, for Edwin's views. Okay, so listeners and viewers, this is the nighttime heat on Prime FM 105.5. My name is David Tagbert. I'm sitting in for our lead host, Saba Josh. And so, shortly we'll open the lines. For your participation. The numbers you will be calling are 0886 050 507. 0886 050 507. The other number is 0778 460 793. 0778 460 793 are the numbers you'll be calling. Gentlemen, let's briefly talk about this crisis at the University of Liberia. The president of the universities,
Dr. Lydia Mapaya.
Mapaya is in a serious problem with the faculty association, and not only the faculty, the staff association of the University of Liberia, that she's not doing well in terms of creating an enabling learning environment. In fact, the benefits of teaching professors, the teaching staff, and others, the environment is not that, comfortable or comforting in terms of, the academic exercise of the University of Liberia. And so they have a serious problem with the administration that she's not doing well. In fact, the University Faculty Association has accused some members of the Board of Trustees, including 2 legislators, Numan Batikwa and Senator Numan Batikwa, and the representative from, I think, Grand Gida from Sino County, that they are aligning with the university administration in terms of, it's dismal, alleged dismal performance. What do you think? Let's talk just briefly about that. I'll open the lines.
The University of Liberia has had an age-old problem.
Mm-hmm.
And let me say this. I do strongly believe that university needs to be overhauled in terms of the people who are there, the faculty, those staffs who are there. Let's be very serious around here. The University of Liberia pays its faculty and instructor more than most of the private universities in Liberia. And this is very disingenuous to people who leave their country, come to your country, try to help to build a system. I was in that school. I just graduated in February. What Dr. Mampanya has done at that school is laudable. She met the problem there. The school does not belong to Lady Mampanya. It belongs to the Republic of Liberia.
What did she do?
She's been able to put system in place that make the school to function. You don't expect the Lady Mampanya to go look for money for the University of Liberia. It is the government of Liberia responsibility to put money into that school.
But she has a responsibility.
I'm coming,
Chief.
Chief.
Has a responsibility.
And she has always engaged the government, and government has always provided that money. 80% or even 90% of the money being provided to the University of Liberia goes towards paying faculty and other people at the University of Liberia.
Okay.
But they're always coming back. They want more money. They want this. They want that. You cannot run an institution that way.
I'm doing this over the 10 o'clock. That's one. Now let me hear you briefly. Then I'll open the lines.
Yes. So basically, look, the issue what we're seeing at the University of Liberia, it is a usually display of, I don't want to say arrogance, right? Mm-hmm. But it is of no difference. You cannot have a bunch of responsible men every day, every single moment. These bunch of guys who are instructors, who are supposed to be in a classroom teaching the Liberian students about responsible engagement, even in how we do conflict resolution. Every now and then, the guys then threaten the future of our country. We'll pull down, we'll lay down our instructional material.
Why they have grievances?
Let me tell you this.
They have grievances.
Let me tell you this.
Is it not their right to express their grievances?
It is their right to express that grievances in a very responsible manner. What we normally see at the University of Liberia, in fact, the guys are continuing to subject themselves to being politically used for inner motives. It's wrong. And to speak about the other thing they call the board chair, other people should know.
Board trustees.
Come on. At the moment, the University of Liberia has a very vibrant, effective board members that has been, the board of trustees that has been headed by, Senator Nominati H. Batekwa. Currently, that chairperson of that board is in India on behalf of the University of Liberia.
Well, you are probably
negotiating.
I'm not surprised.
Negotiating. No, this is a fact. David, this is a fact. The senator is engaging on behalf of the University of Liberia with the Southern University, one of India's premier private universities in what we call Knowledge Park. And guess what that is going to do for the University of Liberia? It's going to extract what we call international cooperations in terms of scholarship programs, faculty exchange. These are some of the things. All we can say to the folks that is the need to exercise restraints.
That's why you have to justify yourself. Seven and 0778460793 are the numbers to call to be a part of the discussion here on the nighttime here on Prime FM 105.5. We are on the Facebook and we are also on YouTube. Share the conversation with your family and friends. Call the numbers 086 050 507 086 050 507 and 0778460793. We can take few calls because it's already after 10 o'clock, 4 minutes after 10 o'clock. And we have to go sooner or later. We're waiting for your calls. The topics we've been talking about, Jojo Boaka, you know, his name has been ringing since the issue of the investigation into the recent confiscation of millions of dollars worth of drugs in the country. His name has been linked. People said he's involved. He's the son of the president, and so yeah. Okay, let's take our first caller here. Good evening, sir or madam. Where are you calling from? What's the name?
Well, my name is Barney. I'm calling from Carwell.
Carwell.
And Marita End.
You are welcome, sir.
Yeah, I want to disagree with Desmond by saying that the president did not mention about the judge during the independent days.
Did he mention that? Did he mention that?
No, but the process is still ongoing. It shouldn't be the 6th year where the auditors were killed. And
That's not it, man. Don't cut the video. Don't do it here for.
Yeah. The investigation are ongoing. Then the president said, "Man, we won't be they were doing." So the president have to investigate ongoing after you can't get talk on it because you want to talk, and they have to conclude the investigation. So thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's take this. There's another call coming in. Let's take this one too. Good evening.
Yes, good evening.
Yeah, good evening. What's your name? Where are you calling from, sir?
Yeah, I'm Charles Gray, and I call you from Bushwa Island.
Charlie, it's good to hear you.
Yeah, well, I'm highly disappointed in family in the studio there.
Why?
Talking about the president have the right to speak on what you want to speak on at any given time. That we know. But the issue of this drug is a burning issue as it relates to our country, and even in the national on the national scene. Okay, so nobody is saying that you should go investigate. If you can remember the burning of the Capitol building, immediately the president went on the scene and said, "Hooligan burn the place." They started arresting people in NG. Up to today, no here, no day. No people, children are still languaging NG. Then the name of his son had been mentioned. He said there will be no stone untouched. Today, his son whining and dining all over the place. But now he should have been arrested.
Oh, okay? Just like that? Just like that? Yes. Because people say he's involved, so he should just be arrested like that? Is that how the law works?
I'm coming now. It happened yesterday in the case of the fire, the Capitol building. Okay? They just went and started arresting people randomly. The moment they called me, they arrested people anonymously.
So can you name one person or two persons that were arrested immediately following the fire incident without any evidence linking them to the action at the Capitol building?
So where are the evidence? Where are the evidence now? Where are the evidence? What happened to the report? What happened to the report that they expect for a miracle release? What happened to the report?
My report is being used at the court.
But where is it now?
No, everything you come in for. No,
we should not be biased. All right, we should not be biased. So this is all about our country. This is not about individual or party. All right. So this thing is about safeguarding and protecting our country and our country a reputation around the world. All right. And the president is not even taking anything seriously. Like even the local issue. Up to today, the Guineans stay at our border, and the information minister will come.
Okay. Thank you, my brother. Thank you for your call. Thank you very much for your call. The numbers to call are 086 050 507, 086 050 507, and 077 846 0793. Yeah, the numbers to call to be a part of the. We can take maybe the last two calls. And then we'll call it a day on this edition of the Nighttime Heat on Prime FM 105.1. My name is David Tagbert, and my panelists are Edwin Famulett and Desmond William. They're here on the show. Moses couldn't be here because of a busy schedule. Josh Kennedy is he's bedridden. He's under the weather. He's suffering from fever, a bit of fever. For Saba Josh, the lead host of this program. Wow, he has a very big problem that he's addressing. But next week, I show you Saba will be here. But let me just let the cat out of the bag that Saba and others, we will alternatively present the Nighttime Heat. not Sabbath alone. Sometimes Sabbath will be in the panelist position, and I will sit in, and some days he will sit in. Some days maybe Edwin or Desmond will sit in. Then Sabbath will become a panelist on the show. So I mean, all of us have the capability to handle the show. So it's after 10 already, 9 minutes after 10. If we can get 1 or 2 more calls, we'll be glad. But in the meantime, gentlemen, the numbers are 086-050-507, 086-050-507, or 0778-460-793. Maybe I'm calling the number faster. 0886-050-507, 086-050-507, 0778-460-793. Gentlemen, while we were with our final calls, let me get your parting comments. That's more okay. The mic is off. Okay, thank you. No, why you continue to point that, Edwin? No, I want to start with you. You give me your parting comments.
Hey, moment, I must announce. I'm trying to speak to you figuratively.
Okay, let me take this one. Let me take this one. Good evening. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good evening.
Good evening, sir. What's your name?
Thank you, and good evening to all of the panelists on the panel tonight. So this is for you.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
And I joined this conversation from District 3 as an executive for the Unity Party Intellectual Bureau.
Welcome, Quay.
So thank you. Let's appreciate all of you. And look, when people want to politicize the issue about this fight against drugs in this country, sometimes it sounds laughable to me because, mind you, the issue of drugs is like a war. When it comes into a country or a terrain, it doesn't, discriminate between people. So if the drug is, all over into the street, even you that want to politicize it, if you don't mind, and all your kids can be victim from it. And you want to come and be implicating people into it, and then when the police inspector come out to make statements, and then a static group of people coming up, call themselves PUL, who were when renegades and other accusing government officials. Where is the PUL? Where were they? Why didn't they come out to ask Renegade for his evidence of accusing people or implicating government officials inside their own property here, that government officials get in and cannot give any evidence? And these cannot see that in a period they are deputy Jesus. They are untouchable.
No, we're deputy Jesus.
They are deputy Jesus that they cannot sing and they are untouchable.
Okay, cool.
You criticize them, and I think the Liberal media need to be, they need to have that thick skin. They need to think criticism. That's how you watch out for the society. Mind you, the society is watching you.
Okay, cool. Thank you very much, Quay, for your call. And maybe out of generosity, we can take one more. Try to be, generous or magnanimous. We can take one more call, and that will end the show. 086-050-507, 086-050-507, or 0778-460-793, 0778-460-793. Are the numbers to call? Gentlemen, that close it up. Mr. William, let me get your parting comments. I wouldn't take any call again. Mr. William.
I always sure. It's been a great show. I know always Mr. Famula always want me to take the lead, So when I come in and you get in a position. No, I saw him dictating to you that Mr. William be the first.
No.
It's okay. Look, I'm an intellectual. I'm always prepared. Whenever when you are soldier, you go on the battlefield, you do not dodge bullets. You prepare to prevent all bullets.
So let's end it now.
So basically, it's been a great show. It's been a great show, and I would like to close on this. Look, if an issue becomes a national issue, it becomes a priority of the president. It becomes a priority of the government. These drug issues is a national issue. At such, the statement or the speech of the president at the Independence Day celebration would have taken into serious account, even at least a paragraph. Come on, man. In that speech, would have spoken about the just issue. And that would have been simple. The president would have reassured the Liberian people about his ruling power, his uncompromising ability, his government's commitment in the fight against drugs. You got people sitting down and listening to the president's speech. All unity, inclusion. But what more about the national issues that is confronting the country and its people? Isn't that concerning that the president would have commented on it within just a passing? So I said the president's speech, yes, it falls short of some of the basic elements of what needed to have, what needed to have been formed part of the ingredients of the president's message on Independence Day, especially in a time where Liberia was celebrating the anniversary of its country, under the theme inclusion, cultural identity, and so forth.
Okay, Mr. William, thank you very much.
Now I see why Desmond was throwing signal to you to allow me to go first, and then he comes back and try to, window dress the whole issue. He's an intellectual. He can do this. Let me say this. It was a great show. We were able to actually touch all of the issues. And I think I want to say, the President's son, Jojo, did well to come out, with his clarity on the issue of the drugs. Secondly, the president remains the president of the country. He decides when a matter is critical to speak, to which audience, at which occasions. So irrespective of a politician coming out to say, the president, because the president did not speak at the Independence Day, it means that he's not taking it serious. That politician is a joker, because the president can decide not to speak about it in the public, but behind the scene, he's working with his official to get to the bottom of this. And that is why today what we saw was a commitment to fight the cartel by destroying the drugs that were brought into the country. While the investigation is still ongoing, people are being picked up. They will be taken to court. The evidence will be produced, and they will face in the forward of the law.
Okay, gentlemen. So thank you very much, Desmond and Edwin. Thank you for being a part of this edition of the nighttime show on Prime FM 105.5. Thanks to many of our listeners and viewers, some of whom, and I guess Sabo George and wife were following. I also guess that George Kennedy, who is under the weather, also watching or listening to the program, most sending in the United States or in the diaspora. I guess he also followed. My sweetheart, when Tia doesn't miss the show, I guess you also listen. I know it's over a year. So that's not your business, man. It's not your damn business. It's not your damn business. So I'd like to say Clara Mala is always following. Maya Bro in the US is also following. So thanks everyone. Thanks to the Prime FM family, and thanks to our technical man AB for always showing up to make this show a success. Thank you and good night.